Hello guys, Cole here, North Coast Constrictors, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to give a bit of a shout out to some of the, I wouldn't say less popular snakes, but not the like really high end genetics, but still incredibly beautiful snakes when you mix them with certain recessives, or even if you pair them together to make a completely different snake. One of the snakes that I'm going to talk about is the Mojave gene. Okay, I'm going to pull out a couple of Mojaves here. And I've got quite a few Mojaves. Two of them I'm not able to pull out and show you because one of them is gravid. And I'm definitely not going to pull her out of her tub. She's had a pre-lay, which is building up to a pre-lay shed. I'm going to pull out three yearlings, okay, which are all going to breed next year. And the last one that I'm going to pull out, so I'm going to show you the different kinds of quality. Not that any of my snakes are bad quality, okay, but you get good and then you get excellent quality. All right, so let me pull out one of these Mojaves for you here. All right, so we'll start off with this male, okay. All right, now this, and the reason why I'm going to start off and show you all these different Mojaves is because the final one that I pull out, and it's a pity because I've got three other Mojaves that I'd like to pull out and I can't. Now, if you have a look at this this snake, you can see he's a great looking snake. He's a straight Mojave, single gene, incomplete dominant, which means you can get the super form on every gene, guys. So don't do that fully. Dominant and incomplete dominant, you can get the super form. It's just that on a dominant gene, like for example spider, the super form is lethal. Okay, with super Mojave it's not. A super Mojave will give you a white snake with a little bit of a gray blushing on the head. So this is a beautiful boy that I picked up from one of the local breeders, South African breeder, a couple of months ago, and he is specifically in the breeding collection. One of like a kind of a staple bread and butter project that I'm working on, where I know I'll always sell snakes. They're not super expensive, they're not cheap, but you'll always sell them, is a blue-eyed leucistic. And if you take a Mojave and you pair it to a lesser, the odds are very good of getting blue-eyed leucistics. And if you take a Mojave and you pair it to a Mojave, you'll get super Mojave, very good, I think a 50-50 chance. If you take a super Mojave and you pair it to a lesser, then you've got even better odds. So I've got quite a lot of Mojaves and quite a lot of lesser or butter, which whatever you like to call it. So have a look at this, the colors, the markings, the scales, very important. The brightness, and this is by no means a bad snake, but it's a regular Mojave, okay. I've got no, the last one that I'm going to pull out, you're not always able to get a Mojave with that kind of quality, okay. And here we have a Mojave female, also a little younger, a little lighter, a little bit, her striping down her dorsals and her saddles a little bit more yellow. Beautiful snake, unbelievable snake. Got it from a breeder that was kind of getting out of the hobby. I think he just started and whatever, didn't want to carry on with it. I think it was more of his young son wanting to get into the ball python industry, and didn't last very long. So I managed to pick up this female Mojave this was months ago, okay. And she's stunning. You can see she's a beautiful snake, absolutely stunning snake. I'm going to be pairing that male Mojave to all of these females that I'm going to pull out, except for the one that is in quarantine right now. And I have another male Mojave 100% head hypo that's also in quarantine at the moment. I'm not going to pull them out. I'm not going to bring them into the snake room. That adult female and the Mojave 100% head hypo are actually in quarantine, but they're also pairing. She's beautiful on herself, by herself, on her own. Excuse my English. So, but this is a beautiful example of a female Mojave. Lovely saddles, lovely dorsal. I love those, that mixture of the pattern, the stripe, long stripe, short stripes, and then goes into those spots. Then a complete gap over here, nothing there. And then we start with the dots again, which goes into stripes, longer stripes, and then a stripe up to the neck. Beautiful snake. Okay. Definitely will be breeding ready next year. Now I have an adult proven breeder Mojave in this tub over here, but she is gravid. Okay. Now I'm going to pull out a Mojave that is a next level Mojave. Alright. And you can see that just by looking at the coloration and the sharpness and the detail of this Mojave, that it is on another level compared to the other Mojaves. She's just a better quality looking Mojave. Her colors are sharper, her patterns are better. She has got an almost complete solid dorsal, not quite, it's broken a little bit, okay, down her back. The alien heads or spots on the side are amazing. She is clean. Now, I want to give a special shout out to the breeder of this snake, the guy that I bought this snake from, Hayden Wilkinson in Cape Town from HRH's Balls. Unfortunately, Hayden doesn't have an Instagram or Morph Market. He just kind of goes by reputation. He's on a lot of the group chats here in South Africa. Very modest guy, very humble. I think he's got an amazing collection. Anyway, he sold me this female, and we think, both of us, he said to me he thinks there's something else in this girl which is making her pop like this, which is making her just such a unique looking Mojave. Don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. We'll have to try and work it out. But that there, guys, is a next level Mojave. Okay, plain single gene animal. Can get them in South Africa, a yearling male for about 600-700 rand, a female probably about 800 or 900 bucks. An adult proven breeder between the 2,000 and 3,000 rand mark. They have dropped a little bit off in price, but things are a little bit tough in South Africa at the moment. A lot of guys are starting to probably drop their prices, maybe in the region of about 10-15% on certain snakes. You know, we've got to keep the industry alive and move with the times, and it just is what it is, you know. But anyway, this is a next level Mojave, and I got this from Hayden Wilkinson. And Hayden, you can see, I already contacted Hayden before I made this video, and I said I'm going to give him a shout out and I'm going to show him his girl. I haven't prepared to weigh her. In fact, let's do that for Hayden now. I think the last time I spoke to Hayden, he asked me how much she was weighing, and I didn't know. So I think now would be a good time to weigh her. Hayden, it's especially for you, my brother. Let's have a look and see how well your girl's doing. And she is a ravenous eater. Now, don't power feed. She gets a once a week. $12.58, 1,258 grams. Okay, I think when I got her, she was around about the 800 gram mark, 900, somewhere around there. So she's doing well, and by next year, this girl's going to be anywhere between 1,700 grams and 2,000 grams, if not more. You know, I feed well. I feed my snakes well, and she'll pop out a great clutch. I'm pretty certain of it. She's a fantastic eater, and she's an absolute sweetheart. Another snake that I want to pull out is, I want to talk about snakes that it's not always on YouTube. Everyone's showing, all the top breeders are showing these multi-gene desert ghosts, including myself. I've got them in my collection, these beautiful visual clowns, fire blade clowns, firefly clowns, butter leopard clown. Bought 2 of those last week. But there's some other snakes in my collection that are really, really amazing and deserve a shout out. And that's what this video is about all of the snakes, because there's a plan for all of them. They're going to be paired to certain males to produce certain offspring. They may not be like super special now, but when you throw in certain genes with those snakes, and then those hatchlings prove out, it'll be obviously going to be recessive, be 100% head for recessives, whatever recessives we decide to pair them to, desert ghost, pied, clown, hypo, depending. And then we breed those recessives with the visuals back to each other, and then we start getting the visual recessives with those incomplete dominant or dominant genes. One of the snakes that I really want to pull out here, and she is doing so well, is this Leopard Pinstripe. I almost sold her, okay? Leopard Pinstripe. Now, she's a stunning animal, ravenous eater. She'll breed next year. Also interesting to know what she weighs right now. I took her last year as a hatchling. 904 grams. Absolutely. In where we now, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So 8 months. I start pairing up in May. 8 months. I can tell you now that this girl's going to be 1,800 grams when I pair her up. Anyway, beautiful. Leopard Pinstripe, stunning snake, really growing well, doing well, eating well, healthy. Can't wait to pair her up. Going to be putting a recessive to her. It's going to be a surprise, that one. I do know what I'm putting to her, but there's certain things that I'll keep to myself just until I've done them. Now this girl here can be a handful. Now this is a cinnamon champagne. Yeah. Also another girl that I almost sold. Cinnamon champagne. I just love this. She can take a good snap. She can bite. So on the one side she's hardly got. I'm trying to. You see, she's that white. That it goes up a lot more on the flank on her left side, as opposed to on her right side. But then she's got this nice little detail here and this little raised section here, where on the side she's also got that, but then at the back here she's got this really, really cool tail section. Now this girl is really, she's doing well. I've got some good plans for her. Let's see what she's weighing. It's kind of nice to, I mean, I used to weigh my snakes like every month and see 1,041 grams. Both those snakes that I just pulled out, the Leopard Pinstripe and this girl, I got together. In fact, I got 3 snakes together. There were 3 of them that I took from a breeder that he had sold them to another breeder, and this other breeder hadn't been able to pay him. He paid a deposit and couldn't pay him the balance, so he had to forfeit the snakes. And he phoned me and asked me if I wanted all 3 girls. The other one was a spot nose pinstripe. and I sold it, and I have got seller's remorse, but being spot nose. I should have kept the spot nose. I should have kept her, but I didn't. And anyway, so yep, those snakes there, they're all going to go with some really, really powerful males that are visual recessives. We're just going to work out which of the best ones they're going to go with. Definitely, because leopard is such a powerful gene. So we've got the pinstripe leopard there. And then we've obviously got that cinnamon champagne. Now, we've got to get the right combination in with cinnamon and champagne. You really, I haven't decided on the male yet for her for next season. That I'm busy doing a lot of research on. I don't want to breed her to something that's gonna, maybe it might be something new, but it's certainly I want to do something that hasn't been, well, that maybe has been done, but it's not very, very common. I'm still working out. Hopefully there's a male in my collection that I can do that with. Champagne can be a lethal gene if you pair champagne to champagne. So, but she's the only champagne I got. So I got no champagne to spider is something that you can't do. So I got no male spiders. So yeah. Anyway, and then what would it be without me pulling out one of my favorite girls? And okay, I almost thought I didn't have my snake. So just bear with me for a second, because it's been a while since I've pulled this girl out, and I'm gonna just readjust here ever so slightly. This is my Lavender Albino Reticulated python that I have not held for a while. And she is hungry, and I want to hold her before I feed her. Okay, and she's due to be fed. Now, I just need to remove all the driftwood. Hello, my girl. Hello, my sweetheart. No, it's not food. Okay, she's got a very, very good feeding response. Just gonna do the whole tap train on the head. Thank you very much. I like to keep her tank looking nice and natural. And let's get you out of your tank and come out for a little bit of show and tell, my girl. Is that okay with you? Don't be shy. Oh, here she is. Okay, let me obviously adjust the camera. Let's get the camera right. And you've all, if you've been watching my YouTube channel, you'll know exactly who this is. This is Honey, my Lavender Albino 100% het genetic stripe female reticulated python. You can see she is putting on some nice size. She is about 8 feet, 8.5 feet now. She is looking really, really good. She's growing at a phenomenal pace, and I'm only feeding her, every 10 days to 2 weeks. She's moved on to bigger prey size now. She's taking big jumbo rats. But yeah, she's looking great. She's looking good. I haven't held her for a while. She needs a little bit of human one-on-one time. That's what you got to do, guys, with your retics. You got to keep them one-on-one time. What are we on? 18 minutes already. So I'm going to start wrapping this up, guys. I want to try and keep my videos a bit shorter. So guys, I hope you enjoyed those videos. I'm going to do a couple more videos on some of the unsung heroes of the snakes, some of your basic genetics, especially for the new breeders out there, the guys that can't afford a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 rand snake. I'm going to show a couple of snakes that I've got in my collection that are between the 1,000 rand mark and the 5,000 rand mark. Obviously, if you want to do it and you want to do it as a hobby and you want to breed snakes, you want to be able to breed ones that you can sell. Okay, so but if you're on a budget, yeah, we'll talk budget snakes. I have sold quite a lot of my snakes that are budget snakes, or like that I first got when I first got into the industry, because I don't want too many snakes. I've been concentrating on recessives and high-end recessives, multi-genes. recessives, double recessives, going for the triple recessives now, also mixed with dominant and incomplete dominant genes. So I'm slowly but surely refining my collection as I go, but I still do have quite a lot of snakes, sort of very, very basic, very entry-level snakes, and we'll do some of those videos, and we'll talk pricing on those snakes on the next video. So if you are a new breeder and you're wanting to get into the industry, I'm going to pull out a couple of snakes that if you pair them together, there'll be some powerful pairings. Like, for example, what I said there in the beginning, the Mojave to a lesser, you stand like a 25% chance of getting a blue-eyed leucistic, which is a bell, and everybody wants a bell, and you'll sell a bell, and you can buy a Mojave and a lesser for in South Africa. If you buy two together as hatchlings, no more than $1,500 for both, and then you can produce a bell. And right now, bell males are going for between 3,000 and 4,000 rand a hatchling, and female bells are going for anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 or 5,000 and 6,000 rand, depending, on the breeder and how well you know him, or the size of the snake. Obviously, hatchlings, adults, females, proven breeders, or sub-adults will obviously go for more. That's just the way the market is. And but yeah, guys, that's a good way to start. Oh, I love this girl. She really is a fantastic. This was my very first retic. Anyway, guys, it's over 20 minutes now, 21 minutes. Time to say goodbye. Time for me to put this girl in. And I've got a whole bunch of other chores to do here. Oh, guys, and what do you think? My new snake rack. Not all the tubs are in yet. I've only got 8 tubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What I'm busy doing is I'm busy setting up all my temperatures here. Before I put the snakes in, I run the rack for 2-3 days. I make sure my temperatures are spot on. I move all the tubs around in the rack and do temperature checks with my heat gun on the hot spots a couple of times a day. You'll see I've got 2 thermostats, one there and one there. This one here powers the top 10 shelves, so the top 5 shelves, the top 10 tubs, and this thermostat here powers the bottom 10 tubs. And the reason why I do that is because that's just the way I like to do things. If I have a rack that's got, like 20, anything upwards of 12 tubs, anything 10, 12 more than that, I like to split the rack into 2 and have a separate power supply where I divide the rack and the heating into 2, the upper layer and the lower layer, I call it, because heat rises, and I've got more control over my temperatures from this shelf here to this shelf here, being in the high section, the top half, and I control it with that thermostat. And then with this shelf here, going all the way down to the ground floor where the temperatures are cooler, I can control it with this temperature here and set it maybe a degree higher or whatever. And that will give me an even distribution where my hot spots aren't the variable isn't too great from the top shelf to the bottom shelf. That's the reason why I like to do 2 thermostats. Anyway, guys, from me, Carl, North Coast Constrictors, Bellito, South Africa, KwaZulu-Natal, and my beautiful Lavender Albino 100% genetic stripe reticulated python. It's over and out. Have a great week. Cheers.